Hello and welcome back to Launch With Me. This is the series where I'm documenting all the behind the scenes of a new launch in my business as a multiple six-figure entrepreneur and giving you all of my tips, tricks, and secrets to doing so. If you haven't already, make sure you go get access to the free Google Doc that accompanies this series. That is where I'm documenting all the steps of my launch in written form so that you will have at the end of the series a written guide of my entire launching process so that you can use that for your launches in the future. Again, the link for that is in the description below this video. Go register, totally free. Go grab it. Now that we are all here, let's take a moment to fully land here. I want you to just take one deep cleansing breath with me, bring yourself into this present moment, and get ready to dive into how we create a launch timeline. I want you to really take this in because it's really fun, I think, to get to play with all the dates and the timeline. All right, so let's take one deep breath in and release and be fully here. Today, I'm creating my official timeline for the Wealth Vibe launch. That's the membership that I'm launching and documenting in this series. So I want to give you a summary of all the dates and deadlines in my launch and give you just the main points that you'll want to hit with your launch timeline. So my launch is coming up pretty quick here. If you are a newer entrepreneur or you don't have a team like I do, make sure you give yourself a little bit extra time before you even have your launch strategy start, just because I don't want you to feel rushed or overwhelmed. That's just my 2 cents. Take it or leave it. Work however works best for you. I, at this point, have launched a lot in my business. I have done so many launches. I have a team who knows how I like to launch. They know what kind of graphics I like. They know my writing voice if they need to write any content in the middle of my launch for me. So I can move a little bit quicker than a lot of other people can with launching. So because I'm chomping at the bit to get the Wealth Vibe underway, because I've been sitting on this for over 7 months at this point, I think, I want to move quickly on this. I do want to say that there are no right or wrong timelines for a launch. I personally like to launch anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks, typically closer to the 4-week point for a launch for me. I like having kind of a week for each phase of my launch. And if you remember in the last video, we went through 4 phases of the launch. The only caveat to that is if I am selling something at a much higher price point, so in the thousands of dollars range, I often like to have a week or 2 for the promo of the freebie and running the freebie, and then I like to have a whole month of enrollment or promo for the paid offer, which is that higher price point. So sometimes I will launch for 6 to 8 weeks. For something like the Wealth Vibe membership, especially because it's going to be opening every month and this is an ongoing thing, I'm going to stick with my traditional 4-week launch structure. This will probably be about actually 3-ish weeks, but that's the length we're going with for this offer. But that's just me. Adjust your timeline for what feels good to you. Everyone is different. Don't make it too stressful on yourself. You do not need to launch something in a month. Your launch could take 3 months. It is entirely up to you and what makes sense for you, for your price point, for your offer, for your audience. So we're gonna start with the overall timeline. Like I said, we're gonna reverse engineer the timeline because I just wanna get this membership underway, and then we're gonna work backward from there. If, as I'm doing this, that timeline doesn't seem feasible to me, then I would have to push out the launch date and tweak it from there. So here's the overall timeline that we are reverse engineering together here. On September 1st, the Wealth Vibe membership will officially start. It will kick off. This is when we will have our first initiation call for the very first round of people who have joined in, and we'll have our first challenge starting inside of the membership. This means that on August 31st at 11:59 p.m., so basically midnight, enrollment will close for the membership. Reverse engineering from there, that means that because I want to have a week of promo or cart open for the membership at the end of each month, August 25th through the 31st will be when we have promo content going out for the Wealth Vibe to my whole audience on all platforms. This means that enrollment opens on August 25th. This means that my free 3-day program that builds that nurture and know and like and trust and value and readiness for the Wealth Vibe will run from August 23rd to August 25th. So enrollment opens the last day of the free event. Also inside of this free event is when I announce the Wealth Vibe membership so that people are ready to purchase when enrollment opens up on the last day of it. Going a step back from there, that means that from August 14th to the 23rd, we will be promoting content for the freebie to my entire audience. And then the last first step from there means that from August 7th to the 13th, we're going to have warm up content to my audience going out. This means just general content about embodiment and money, just to get people a little bit more familiar with that topic so that they're excited and ready for the free offer when I announce it that following week. So now that we have this overall timeline, we are going to flip it and come up with our official timeline. So you can see right here, this is the official timeline, chronological order of the different phases of my launch. So now that I've created this general timeline, I'm going to take this to my OBM, which is my online business manager, who runs a lot of my operations, who does a lot of the behind the scenes work in my business. And I will also talk to my social media manager about this. And once I've talked to them, we are then going to add in all of the little things that need to happen and by what dates in order to meet each of the deadlines or dates here in this outline of this launch strategy. So what I think I'll do is that once I have talked to my team about this, and we've created all of the little nitty-gritty details of what needs to be done by when, I will probably add that entire list of who's doing what, what's delegated to whom, what dates things are getting done by, all the little steps behind the scenes that are happening. And I'll probably put that in that free Google Doc that you can get when you register at the link in the description below this video for this free Launch With Me series. I would go through it here with you, but I would have to come back another day and film it. And also it would just be so tedious to tell. So I would just literally be reading off of a list. So I'm just gonna put it in the Google Doc for you. Make sure you go register for that at the link below in the description of this video. By the time this video goes up, we will have that finalized and I will put that in that Google Doc for you so you can see exactly who is working on what behind the scenes and getting things done by certain dates and times. Just know that when you are looking at that list in the Google Doc, but the step-by-step deadlines of everything and who's doing what in my business, just know that things like that might change behind the scenes. I probably won't really update that in the Google Doc because things move very quickly in my business, but that's going to be the general timeline that we're following behind the scenes. So you can just take a look at that and follow along with us. A note on delegating if you do have a team, or just to file away in your brain for when you do have a team in the future in your business. When I launch a new offer, I like to write almost all of the promo content for it. This is just knowing that my strengths are writing and content creation. And so my team will sometimes create extra content for me if I am on a time crunch or if we are relaunching something and we want some fresh content, but they typically take content I've already given them and written and repurpose it or expand on it or tweak it in my voice. But for the most part, I am the one writing most of the marketing content that you see, at least initially, for a new offer. And so that's what I intend to do with the Wealth by membership. If I do run into a time crunch for one reason or another, I might ask my OBM, who knows my voice very well, to write some additional promo content either for the freebie or for the Wealth Vibe itself. I prefer to do that myself. I just know my strengths and the way I like to connect with my audiences. With a new offer, I am very tapped into it. I'm very clear on what it is, and because we haven't promoted it before, I like to create that initial set of promotional content and marketing content for it, at least the written part of it, and then my team can format it or repurpose it into other places if we need to. But I like to create that content first because I believe I've created this, I'm gonna be running it, I know it the best, I want to make sure the marketing is on point with it, and then for future content or additional content, my team can create that for me in order to save me some time in the future. That's kind of the way I like to approach it. That means my team is doing a lot of the tech, a lot of the graphics creation, all of that sort of stuff. Know your strengths in your business. This is why it's so important to know your own unique strengths. This is again where I use people's human design to help them get clear on this in their businesses, but you don't need to know your human design. Just know what your strengths are. Be honest with yourself about what comes easily to you, what do you enjoy doing in your business, what's your zone of genius. And if you have a team, delegate to them all the things that aren't your zone of genius. So I can set up an opt-in page and email segmenting and schedule out emails in my business. It's not my zone of genius. I can do it. I learned how to do it before I had a team and it was just me running my business. But my energy is much better spent creating content that's going to really connect with people and speak to the value of this offer. That's my wheelhouse. Maybe for you, it's creating the most vibey graphics that really convey the energy of your offer and letting your team create the content for you. Totally up to you. You do it however you need to do it. This is my approach. In the next video, I can't decide yet if we're gonna be talking about how to write sales or promo content, or if we're gonna be talking about how I create high converting sales pages. We'll do those in the next two videos. I just don't know which order we'll do them in yet, but make sure you like and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of the future videos in this series or any other amazing content I have coming for you. Also, be sure to tell me how you like this video in the comments. Let me know what you think of this sort of structure for a launch. Let me know if you had any ahas and breakthroughs. And if you are launching alongside me, I would love to hear how long of a launch you're going to be doing. Is it going to be 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 16 weeks? How long? Let me know in the comments. I can't wait to hear more, and I'll see you in our next video.